Hey guys, welcome to the Everyday Leader podcast. Today's guest is Eric Bristol. Eric and I have been friends since childhood. Eric didn't have the most stereotypical upbringing. He's been able to overcome challenges and adversity to become a great leader in his community. Today, he's known as the Bird Gang Worrier to the Arizona Cardinals. He uses this platform to help inspire youth, give back, and just help everybody realize that they can be themselves. He's found his true passion. Stay tuned. This story is exciting, and he's got a ton of knowledge that he can share.
Welcome to the Everyday Leader podcast. Leadership is a choice. Join me, Matt, and my co-hosts Drew and Tate each episode as we break down how to lead powerfully in your family, team, and organization.
Hey guys, welcome to the Everyday Leader. Today we've got an old friend of mine, Eric Bristol. We go way back. We grew up together, went to the same church, known each other for a really long time, and Eric's been doing some, as you can see, some pretty wild stuff. Super Fandom. Refer to yourself as the Ultimate Bird Gang or Ultimate Warrior? What is
Bird
it?
Gang Warrior, yeah, but BG Warrior for short. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got on the back of my jersey. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, you've got such a cool story just from your childhood, some of the experiences you went through. Maybe not the coolest experiences, but they've helped shape who you are today. And so, let's jump into it, man. What was your childhood like?
Interesting. It was full of experiences. That's the best way I can put it. A lot of learning. A lot of wrongs, a lot of rights. You know what I'm saying? You learn at a young age when you're not able to grow up as fast as you would want to. But growing up was very interesting. Everybody thought I was full of energy, which I was. And I always wanted to find my passion to put my energy to something, you know what I mean? So I would always ask, like, what's my calling? What do I do? Now as an adult, here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember a young kid that was just absolutely fascinated by the WWE and WWF. I mean,
just something to see a superhero, you know what I mean? Because growing up, in a little town, you know what I'm saying, like you really wouldn't think that someone or someone's would be something, you know what I mean? And you see on WWE, you're just like, oh man, I want to be a wrestler, I want to be this, I want to be that, but then growing up you find out if you fall it actually hurts, you know what I'm saying? So I was always wanted to put myself into a different matter, you know what I'm saying? Like, why or how does this matter? And, I've been fortunate enough to find a fandom. I thought I was the only one, and it's not just me. It's pretty big, very, very big.
Yeah. So, for the most part, especially at a younger age, you were raised by your grandparents?
Yes, sir. That's correct. Yes, sir. Yeah. And then my grandparents got sick, and then I got put in a foster home. And then, parents were doing extracurricular activities. I don't need to get too deep into that. But finally, some of my mother, she got able to be in a situation where we could live together. And, she started doing pretty good, and then by then I was already a grown up, basically. Then I went and did natural gas pipeline. And then, I would always say that Arizona, there's something special about Arizona, and everybody from Georgia, Ohio, wherever, they'd be like, there's nothing special about Arizona. And I'm like, watch, I'm going to show you, and this is what brought me to life, I guess, you know what I'm saying? I didn't make the Ultimate Warrior, obviously, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say this is my thing. It's just something that I just want to be able to express my passion.
Yeah. So if I recall, there was an older guy working the pipeline that kind of mentored you. It kind of,
oh yeah,
maybe help shape where you are today. Maybe some tidbits that he. Yeah, can you share a little bit about him and kind of maybe what he left you with?
Oh man, an everlasting impression. You know what I'm saying? I credit him on teaching me how to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? I would always follow how he would do things. And there was this one day, Halloween, and I came up to him a couple of days before, and I said, Charlie, I want to be just like you. He says, well, why would you want to be just like me? You better go be something. No, I want to be just like you. And he's like, all right, crazy boy. Like, I don't know what you want to be, but all right. And then that day on Halloween, I got the wig, I got the glasses, I got the vest, and I came up to him, hey, Charlie, how you doing? He looked at me and says, you're so crazy. But that was the thing, is like, if I attracted to you, it was because I always seen something good. And that's one thing. I've always seen good things in people, and people have always seen good things in me, you know what I mean? And that's what builds someone to be in a leadership role, I believe.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I can imagine that somebody like him, how old were you when you started working with him?
18 years old, 18 going
18
on
years old. So,
19.
I
Yep.
mean, you're right in that prime of, thinking you're an adult
Oh yeah, he'd set me straight, man. From arriving to work, to saving your money, to investing your money. You're getting your credit, whole life insurance. All the good stuff that. Now I catch myself telling the little younger ones like, "Hey, man, get yourself right." You know what I'm saying? So just passing it down. That's how you become a great leader. Is whatever you learn, you just keep passing it down. Always the good stuff.
well, it sounds like, he spent a fair amount of time just talking to you.
Oh yeah, talking to me and kind of whipping me at the same time. But
Yeah.
we all need a little whipping every once in a while. I was a sandblaster, and I was his spark plug, and if I wasn't the first one out there, you know what I mean. He would make sure. But like when we get breaks, and he would come up to me, and he'd spit some knowledge on me, man. If you just sit there and conversate, that's one thing that I've learned, is if you're able to communicate, that's just the best thing to build yourself, and that's kind of like how I just have been able to, communicate with different peoples. It doesn't matter if you're a higher up or if you're a lower down, if you have the ability to communicate, you can go far in life. But yeah, he would talk to me and tell me some stories, and damn, Bubba, you got to get right. Ah, damn, Bubba. But yeah, he would trip out if you see me right now. I'm not even lying. He would be like, damn, Bubba, what are you doing with that?
Yeah.
Take a long time growing out my hair too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, you can pull it right out though. Put it back on, I think.
Yeah, I got all the whole sets back there. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, from what I'm hearing though, it sounds like it wasn't just that, he was hard on you, or just that he sat and talked to you. Like, in a way, he was able to put those together, and that when he had to get after you, he cared. And it wasn't
very,
just
very much so.
some guy, getting after you as a boss, or as
Right.
A leader, or, because he had the title, but a guy
Right.
that was really trying to help a young man.
Yep. Help me grow, because he'd always tell me, I see a lot of myself in you. I'm like, you're the most chillest, calmest person. Like, I would never think that you're something like me. Oh, Bubba, I was a rebel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I talked to a few people, and they would tell me, he was a pretty wild child back in the day. But Charlie always taught me, like, if you see something that needs to be done, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, keep your eyes open. Like, your work will speak to you. And he would always give me a call, always, even when we weren't working. Bubba, how you doing? Did you start saving money like I told you? Did you work on your credit? Bar, are you going to be here on this job? So to have a mentor like that, you know what I mean, it meant the world to me. Someone to grab me, and I was able to gravitate to him.
Up to that point in your life, had you had anybody really
No, yeah,
reach out to that extent?
Yes and no. There was a fellow by the name of Jose Guzman here in Tucson. I did drywall with him, and he was very good to me, and he's still, to this day, we can keep in communication. But he was more hard on me, like that tough love, but he wasn't able to grab me in. It was more like, you're doing wrong, do right, and I wasn't being able to be shown correctly how to do it. But with Charlie, it was more like, I wouldn't say like loving, but it was more hands on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yes and no, but Charlie was my main person that taught me how to be a man. You know.
Mm-hmm. So, prior to this, part of, from my memory, some of your foster care experience, like you spent some time at a military school, right?
Yeah, Arizona Project Challenge, class 25.
Yeah. So what was that? A couple years you spent there? Two, three
No,
years?
actually, no, man. It was actually 6 months that we stayed there. We got
Oh,
our
okay.
GED. When we got our GED, we graduated, and then we had the chance to go into the military. Um, I don't know if it was God's good graces telling me you got different things in your life, or what it was, but I ended up not going. I was going in. I wanted to go in the Army, become a Green Beret. That was my number one thing, but my path just went and did something different. I can't say it's bad because what I've become today. Thank God for
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, but yeah, military school was pretty good, man. Give that a lot of credit to help building me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Allowing me to be able to listen, allowing me to be able to be receptive. You know what I'm saying? Because before, you know, it's my world. It's not no one else's. But when you have a drill sergeant in your head putting his fingers to your face, you know what I'm saying? It's a different experience. So you learn to be humbled. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's just knowing you from such an early age and kind of, watching kind of the progression of you. It's like you said, there was so much good there,
yeah.
and yet you were this rambunctious child that probably didn't have the connections with, you know uh, the adults, maybe like some others have. And so like it's cool to have been watching now and be able to like piece together how those things did kind of come in,
Right.
and they just weren't the traditional model.
Nope. Nope.
You know.
Yeah, you kind of you kind of sit back. I remember your mom would always pick me up. You know what I mean? And I would always be envious of how you were living. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
But I think Justin Gaethje, him being where he is in the UFC, kind of brought me to this world. You know what I'm saying? This natural
mm,
world. And it doesn't matter if you're in the UFC. It doesn't matter if you own a business. It doesn't matter whatever you do. No matter what you do to your best abilities, you can be a champion no matter what. Like I didn't have
mm.
to fight nobody for those champions. You know what I'm saying? I made those, and that's
Yeah.
because to show people it doesn't matter what you do in this world or in this life. You know what I'm saying? You got one to live, so you might as well spread it as good and as quick and fast as possible.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's dive into that. Like, so obviously you got the crazy hair, you got the face paint, you got the UFC belts behind you, or
Got
you're not
the tat.
UFC, but wrestling belts.
Yeah, you
Like,
got the tattoos. This one says cardiac right here. It's the the Arizona flag. This one right here is the Arizona outline of Arizona, the desert, cactus, and all cacti. And then I got the bird right here. The reason I did all this is because when I would do natural gas pipeline, I traveled America, and every time I would go, I would go to Ohio, I'd go to Louisiana, I'd go to Texas, where all the real fans are. And when I say real fans, I mean people that live and breathe this type of stuff. Um, when they would always tell me, "What's so good about Arizona? What's so good about Arizona?" Arizona doesn't have no championships. They're not the A-list team that everyone's going to want to go and see, which I recognize that, and that's fine. Um, but the number one thing is this is where I am. You know me a lot
mhm,
better than anybody else knows me. I come from a broken home. So Arizona is my home. What I've been able to find out is the Bird Gang is that we're not a legit gang. We don't do that kind of bad stuff. We do the good stuff, giving back to the community, helping young ones realize, right from wrong. If not sitting at a stadium, being yourself, sometimes you have to be bottled up and not say anything. But what we do is I wouldn't say big stuff, but from us being where we're at and what we're able to emulate to these kids, that's kind of where the winning becomes.
mhm,
But what was I lost track of where I was going with that. These championships, my team doesn't have a championship. by us not having a championship, I hold the championship. That's why I kind of call myself the Bird Gang Warrior. You know what I'm saying? The people's champion, the Bird Gang's champion. But by us being the Bird Gang, like a family that I never had as a kid, you know what I'm saying? You go, it's a different experience, man. You slap hands with everybody, you high five, hey, give people hugs, take pictures. Even if you're not in how I am and you're just a person with a jersey, you still feel some type of famous. You feel some type of well known. You feel some type of way. And that's kind of what we try and give back. And when I was able to experience it with this fandom, I'm like, dude, like, not having a family to having a family to a Bird Gang, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of brought me in. And then, what made me go this hard, this out there, we were at a game, and this is what I was going to speak to you earlier, but we were at a game, and this little kid, we lost, obviously, but a little kid grabbed me on the shoulder and he tugged my shirt and he was like, man, when are we going to win? And I looked down and I'm like, bro, what do you mean we're winning right now? He's like, we suck. And when he said that, it like threw me back, and I'm like, nah, man, like I'm gonna change what I'm doing. So if you go on my Instagram, you'll see what I do. I get the loudest, rowdiest kid that I can see. I bring him front row. I got section 102, 103. I get the whole section, and I'm not joking when I say this. I get the whole section 102 from row 1 all the way to row 32. I get the section 103 to do the same thing, and everybody starts cheering and chanting. Like, go up on my Instagram, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I make them feel like they won. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where the fandom comes, and that's kind of where like the family and my childhood, the neglect that I had. I wouldn't say that I was neglected, but to not have the superhero that I feel that I am, I didn't have that. I'm able to be that. So my wife always told me too, don't let your past dictate your future. You know what I'm saying? And not in a bad way, obviously, but don't allow something negative to ruin your positive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would think, unfortunately in our society, it's probably more common than we would like to admit. People growing up in not the best of circumstances. And, I can only imagine for a child like that, like what it's like to be able to see and connect. And especially if it's somebody they know that maybe started similar to how they did, and, show them that, like, hey, like, it's okay. You can be okay.
Yep.
Like, you can be the champion, the warrior that you're talking about.
Exactly.
And I think that's cool. I mean, I'm going to make a little bit of an assumption, but I think for you, like, if you'd have had that person at an early age, like, I can just see you like full blown latching onto that.
Straight up. And you just took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I want to. That's what I needed. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty good. Spot on.
So, where you guys do the tailgates, you get the sections, like you get rowdy, you're trying to influence kids. What else? What's the bigger picture?
Oh man. So if you want to start from A to B, so we wake up from Tucson about 3:00 in the morning every game day. My wife loves it. It's her favorite thing to do.
who takes longer to put on their makeup?
Hey, it's war paint. War paint. Right, actually, I got pretty good at this, man. Before it took me about an hour and a half. Now I'm doing it like in 20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So so her. No, I'm just kidding. She's always waiting on me though. But we end up leaving here about like 4, sometimes 5:00. We get there about 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. That's probably.
And you're coming for Tucson for those that don't.
Yeah.
That don't know. Okay.
Yeah. So I apologize. From Tucson, Arizona, all the way to Glendale, Arizona. We take off 2-hour ride early in the morning. It was pretty tough, but we have our tailgate warriors. That's who I tailgate with. Pretty crazy, right? I'm the Bird Gang warrior and then the tailgate warrior. And we haven't been tailgating with them a whole long time. We just we've known them. We go and stop by. But one day, the leader, if you want to call him, Troy Landrum, you're gonna meet him. Great dude. big inspiration on my fandom. Great man. But he invited us over, and he's just like, hey man, come over. And then I seen him doing stuff, and like a whole bunch of people would come and start eating and drinking for free, and it's fine. It's all taken care of, but nobody wants to help out. So I kind of make it my goal every time I go to the tailgate. It's as soon as we park, he parks. As soon as we go in and park to the tailgate, he gets everything out. I start unloading everything. I just start helping him out. Boom, boom, boom. What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? Because that's what it takes to do the tailgate. You know what I mean? And he's an older man. You know what I'm saying? He's still got it, but that doesn't mean we all don't need help. You know what I mean? If you can eat there for free and have a good time, at least help out. So that's one big thing that I contribute with myself. You know, my wife as well, she does helping as well. But as soon as we get there, as soon as we get to the tailgate, they're making breakfast. We start eating breakfast. We unload. I start helping out, and then I do my face paint because, you know, start sweating and whatnot. It's an art to this, man. So if you ever rush your wife, slow down, bro. Let her do her thing. But we get everything ready and do the paint and whatever, you know, we'll start mingling, whatever, start taking pictures. There's a lot of people. And like I said, man, if you come out, I would love for you guys to come out, bring your family, bring your friends, bring whoever to show you what we do. It's not just some people partying. It's a family event. It is legit a family event. There's kids out there playing, throwing the ball, you know. But then after the tailgate, you know, because I don't stay out there long, because my thing is I love my people, most definitely, but I'm in there for the game. I'm in there for the kids. I want the kids to see what I'm bringing so they can bring it too. We go, as soon as we eat, we go inside, the gates open, we go down straight to the front row. I know a lot of the players. I know a lot of the security guards. I know Big Red personally. I've met a lot of people, and I've been very blessed to know and communicate with a lot of these people. But as soon as we come down, it's kind of like a wrestler's entrance. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Ultimate Warrior, he comes in, rah! Well, when we come downstairs, I got an iconic whistle, pretty piercing loud, and a lot of people get annoyed. But hey, man, you're at a football game. Let's have some fun. As soon as we come down, I have people with me, and we do like a little chain gang, you know. And when we start doing that, I start doing my whistling, and the cameraman comes on us, boom. And when he starts hitting us up, everybody's just like having an experience. Not a lot of people get to get on the camera. I've been able to build myself to be able to say, hey, right here, camera. I'll hold the baby. I'll do the Simba. Hold the baby up. You know what I mean? But just to give people that kind of experience and that kind of happiness, you know what I'm saying? That's what I live for. Like, I don't want money for it. Trust me, man, I'm blue collar. I work my rear end off, and I do this because I want to give the greater good to people. So I had a few people talking to me last year about starting something up, you know, the way I treat fans, the way that kids look up to me, the way that I'm able to bring something to Arizona that nobody's bringing. What it is, you know, it's there you go. It's official drop. BG Warriors Ultimate Tailgate and Game Day Experience. I have 3 tickets. They're going to be going to a specific winner. Basically the one fan that is ready to bring it just like I bring it, you know, just like we need it. There are 3 seats. They're above me, section 102 or 402, but it's a contest. You gotta like the pages, you gotta share them, you gotta bring 3 people, and you gotta do a 30-second to 4-minute video explaining why you deserve. Now, let me backtrack on that, because we all deserve this, right? But why should you win this contest, raffle, or however you want to say it? So that's kind of in the works right now, and that's what we got big for young fans that want to kind of be able to get the experience that I'm able to give and able to bring. So that's something big, and that's kind of how our game days go, and that's how we're able to progress during the season. When they see us, you know, they're just like little kids. They see us, and they're just like, and it's just like, hey, man, I'm just like you, bro. You know, I do this little number. I'm just like you, bro. They're like, oh my gosh, you.
Oh, you mean that's not real?
I get that all the time. I get that all the time, man. But you know what I'm saying? Just letting people know, seriously, man, like, I'm just like you. I'm a human just like you. You know what I'm saying? I wake up just like you. Why can't you do something big. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like revert to what I was saying about Justin Gaethje, you know, the BMF champion. Well, he's not a champion anymore, but how can a small town guy like that, obviously in sports, he was elite, he was great, but how can he go to the top? It's because he had a good backing behind him, right? Well, then I think about it, it's like, well, where's my backing? And then this is my backing right here. If you see the people that I'm with, that I'm affiliated with, they're my backing. And then that's what I'm going to build on right now is the PFUFA. I'm not affiliated with them. They haven't given me a draft card. I'm not saying I need a draft card. But if you ever want to find out what I'm doing is what they've been doing. There you go. That's the correct way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing this for years. I'm really good friends with the Eric family. They're I hold them really high and mighty, I guess you say, not higher than God, obviously, but in the football realm of what they've been doing to the community for the fans. They used to have the #1 tailgate team. Kenny Salinas, very, very good friend of mine. Love him to death. He's PUFA. And Sherry, love her to death. She's a very, 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 very anti, I guess you'd say, is the way I should explain it. She's always there to give you love. So these people that are, and Rob Canas, I butchered that. Ugh. He got a draft card, but he's working in it. So really, there's not that many Cardinals in the PFUFA. But that's, if you ever want to know, like, what's this guy doing? I'm not a part of it. Like I said, maybe one day, just not today. If you ever want to see what I'm doing, check that out. And then you can kind of get a little bit of insight on how big this really is.
Well, so one of the things I heard listening right there was like, for those that maybe don't feel like they had the best upbringing or support system behind them, like, you took charge of that. You created that. You found that. You built that.
Yep.
And I mean, I'd even argue for even those that have relatively good upbringings. Sometimes it's okay to build it. You still got to build it and figure out what that looks like for you and create, you know, your world.
Yep.
And so that's cool. It's inspiring, really.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. That's kind of what I want to do, man. It's like I have a story, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, who wants to listen to that story? But a story is not only told by you, it's somebody else living the same, not the same, but the same story as you. You're able to connect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you think, it's only about, it only happens to me. It only happens to me. World's very big. Same thing, maybe a little bit worse, is happening to someone else, So that's what I want to bring to this world. It's like, hey, man, just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's going to be hard forever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, your shirt you're wearing. Let's see it.
It's the motto, man.
Yeah.
Be a warrior, not
a
warrior.
Yeah. Be a warrior, not a warrior. What's the meaning? Like, what's the story behind that for you?
Man, dude, you're pulling out the good ones, brother. I appreciate you. The story from it is obviously, my grandmother, which you knew her. Not that great, because obviously she was bedridden after a while, but you did know my grandmother. One thing about her, she would worry, and she would worry, and she would worry. And my grandfather, that was kind of like where I messed up. Is earlier you asked me if there was somebody that I looked up to, and there was Jose Guzman, there was Charlie Layton, but before there was Angel Tarrant, and that's where I get the Tarrant from, because he was my dad before, but at a young age you just really couldn't comprehend what he's trying to teach you.
How old was he, real quick though? Like when
Grandpa,
you were living there?
man, dude, he was like freaking 70, 73.
Yeah.
He was dang near 80. Dang near 80 by the time he died. So he was already old, man. So he's tired, can't blame him, He had
how many kids? How many aunts and uncles did you have? I mean, how many kids they raised?
So my mother is the single one. She's the only daughter. And for sons, it's 3 sons: my uncle
Okay.
Eddie, my uncle Pete, and my uncle Henry.
Okay. So
Yep. Pretty big family, small, you know what I mean?
yeah.
They all went up on their little extracurricular activities, you know. No one's perfect, you know what I'm saying? We all got bumps and trials and tribulations to go through, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I kind of sidelined you there, and I'll let you kind of get back to finishing the meaning of the T-shirt story.
No, hey, you're good, man. Interrupt as much as you can. My wife tells me that, you know, that's what I do. It's what I get. It's what I deserve. No,
Yeah.
but to be a warrior, not a worrier, you know, my grandfather would always tell my grandma, you know, quit worrying. You're not going to do nothing. It's not going to do nothing for you. And that's always been my motto. Now, I'm not going to say I'm like, oh, I don't worry about anything. You know, we all are going to have worries. It's not like definitive where it needs to be. Don't worry about anything. You know, we're always going to have that, but it's a reminder that when a warrior goes to battle, a warrior is not going to worry about what he's going to battle. It's the last thing he's going to worry about. He's going to think about conquering. He's going to think about being the champion that he is. She is, you know, if we're a warrioress, whatever it is. But that being said, you know, when one day I was in work, you know, I was doing underground plumbing. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I said, man, dude, I got to do something big, bro. Like, I don't know what I got to do, but I got to do something. Like, something needs to happen. He's like, man, dude, quit worrying about it, bro. You're a warrior. I said, what? Say it again. He said, be a warrior, not a worrier, bro. I said, there it is, bro. He's like, there's what? And I read it back to him, and then, you know, made the shirt. This is called the
There it is.
Bocadillo, I think it's called, on Instagram. Dude made it for me. I got a new one coming out too. Be ready. New shirt's going to be available as well. But I just said, you know what? I got to do something with this. And I see a lot of people, you know, they sell merchandise, they do all that stuff, and they make money, and that's fine. You know, that's what it's all about, right? But I have a job. I don't want to take from somebody when I'm working. So I came up with an idea, you know, 100% proceeds. You know, we're going to pay for the shirts and the prints, obviously, and the mailing, but 100% of the profits that we make from it go straight directly back into donated children's nonprofit. This year we were lucky. When I say we, I mean the people that bought these shirts. We were lucky enough to donate I think it was like $230 to Crisco Kids nonprofit. Crisco Kid is actually the VJ for 101 The Bounce. I cannot recall if he's still the radio VJ for The Bounce, but he is also the in-game host for the Arizona Cardinals and a very, very good friend to my wife and myself. And I credit him a lot about giving back because, you know, I'll hit him up. Hey, man, how do you do this? Hey, man, what should I do with this? And he just, boom, boom, do it like this, do it like this, do it like this. So him helping me out, he's a big inspiration to me as well. So like I said, we were able to raise around $230. And like I said, you know what I'm saying? I don't take any profits. I don't want any profits. I got a job. I'll work my rear end off that way. Side hustles, doubles, and some overtime. We're good. But these shirts right here goes 100% profits to a children's nonprofit. So that's kind of what we're doing with that. And soon we're going to get bands, fan locks. Oh, here, let me drop this one too. Fan locks. This is my hair. You know, here you go, people. What? So I, you know,
Put it back on.
so the ultimate warrior had long hair, right?
Yeah.
So I tried to do the long hair, man, dude, but I have very, very strange hair, and when it grows, it's poofy. So I tried doing that, and dude, it was just hot. It was miserable. It just didn't go. You know what I mean? I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna wear a hat. So I started doing a hat for a little while, and one day I seen up online a buddy of mine, Cat Daddy's his name. He's also the one that made my chirp chirp sign. He owns Fan Cave Customs. Really good dude, man. But he had these on. I hit him up one day. I said, "Hey, bro, where'd you get? Like, what's up with your hair?" Oh, I seen him with a video, and he had regular hair. I was like, "Dude, you had dreads just the other day." And he's like, "Oh man, those are fan locks. Check them out." So I seen him. I ordered them. then when the guy seen my order, he gave me a call immediately, and he's like, "Hey, man, I just want to know, are you a super fan?" I was like, "Yeah, man. Check out my social. I'm the Burger Worrier. I'm going good." He's like, "Oh man, let me get a hold of you." So we ended up linking up, meeting up, and we were able to, get something together, work some deals out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sponsored by FanLock, so I can honestly say, we're starting to make some kind of moves. But yeah, man, check out your fan locks. I'm gonna get you a pair. You need a pair.
There we go. There we go. Look great.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Appreciate it.
So for anybody wanting to connect with Eric or the Ultimate Bird Gang Warrior, what are the social handles? Where do they find you?
Oh man, Instagram's the best one to find me. It's AZ_BG Warrior 88. And then also see that little guy right there. So that's the Ultimate Warrior himself, right? But I kind of, a buddy of mine, he looked it up and he was like, "Hey, bro, this is all you." And I'm like, "Dude, that is so freaking cool, man." So I ended up getting one of those. And then we have a guy named Cardiac Gnome, and he does these pictures and whatnot. I said, "I'm gonna do the same thing." So he has his own little Instagram. Check him out. Little Chirpy. I think it's _80, little Chirpy _88, if I'm not mistaken, or little_Chirpy 88. But yeah, he has his own little social media. He met Brentley Gilbert, country singer. So pretty cool on
That's
that.
cool.
Trying to do little things, and then Facebook. Obviously it's Eric Tarrant. It's my grandfather's last name, but he's my dad, so I'm saying gonna go on that route. Um, uh, but if you want to look me up, honestly, it's Eric Tarrant, Bird Gang Warrior. And then there you go. That's how we get a hold of us. Oh, and then also AZ Bird Gang Nation. If anybody wants to get like news, pictures, whatever, I'm an admin from one of my friends, Robert Friedman, fan of the year 2021. Been a very big inspiration on me and my fandom as well. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of him. It's his uh, Facebook group, but I am a admin on there. So come check us out. We're always accepting new fans. If you want to see what we're doing in the community, at the games, just in all, you want to see how we're doing. Right now, we just did a post. Everybody sends their fan caves. I'm not allowed to do my fan cave because I have a fan corner. My wife says I'm not allowed to do the whole room. So,
I don't know. It looks like you got enough stuff.
oh man, let's see if we can go this way real quick.
Oh yeah.
That's about it. Obviously, the game, but the Sugar Skulls, I'm pretty big with them. I'm part of the Sugar Skulls Booster Club as well. Giving back to the community, give back to the players. We do barbecues. We do a lot of fun stuff out here, man. It's all about having fun. You got one life to live. As long as you're not doing dumb stuff, as long as you're not bringing trouble, man, we accept anybody. You know what I'm saying?
So, what advice do you have for a young Eric or a kid, that maybe thinks similar, is in similar situation? Uh, what would you say to them?
Oh man. You want to know something that's pretty funny? You asked, man. I've talked to that kid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and it always changes. But the one thing that always comes back to is be yourself. No matter what anybody is going to tell you, be who you are. Even the times when you said, "Why am I the way I am?"
Mhm.
Be who you are. You're made for a reason. You have something in this life that nobody has. Just like somebody has something that you don't have. All it takes is for you to find it. It may not happen right now. It may not happen later. But whatever you do, do not give up. Because if you give up, you'll never see the light at the end of the tunnel. When I found the fandom, I spoke to that little kid every day, like, "Don't worry, man. This is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is how I'm supposed to give my life. You know what I'm saying? This is how I'm supposed to
Yeah.
live my life." Excuse me. So if I was talking to him
Oh, I,
and calm down a little bit, you should be fine. Just a little bit, just a little bit.
well, For what it's worth, I don't think you're done yet. I think you got some big things to do with us still. So
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we got a lot of things, like I said, PF, UFA, that's a big thing on my radar. Fan of the Year 2025, that's on my radar as well. Just being a better person, what I'm saying? That's on my radar as well. You know what I'm saying? Little kids see me, and I'm just trying to lead by example. You know what I'm saying? Giving back. It's not about just getting a title. It's about giving back. Just because if you're on the top doesn't mean you have to stay on the top, because it's lonely on the top. But if you have little ones down there and they can come up with you, we're all winning.
Yeah. How does Eric want to be remembered?
Eric wants to be remembered as he never gave up. Eric wants to be remembered as somebody that would never take no for an answer. That's how I want to be remembered, as a legit warrior. Like I said before, this isn't my face paint. I do copy the Ultimate Warrior from WWF, WWE now. But this is who I am. This is what I've become, and giving back has never felt more, I want to say better, it just kind of doesn't sound right. Never been greater, excuse me. That's the correct way to say it.
Well, I love it, man. I love just having been somebody that's known you for so long and got to watch, even if I wasn't, front row seat to a lot of it. It's been a journey, and you've done some amazing growth and come a long ways. And so for that, man, I don't have to tell you, you hold your head high and you're going to keep hammering. So I love it,
man. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on, man. It means the world to me. You know what I'm saying? Giving me an opportunity to share my story. Yeah. Not a lot of people know, you know what I'm saying? I keep that tucked down. You know what I'm saying? I used to use it as, like I'm not better than it. I'm not as good as somebody, I used to think that I'm lower than what somebody's higher than me is, but when you learn in life, it doesn't matter where you grew up, how you grew up, as long as you grow up, so yeah, man, we got a long journey to still go. We're quarter way there, but we're building, bro. We're building. We're never giving up. That's for sure.
Well, and I think there's so many people, young people, even adults, that can probably learn from what you've been through, overcome in some ways, just your journey, and it's cool. So
appreciate you, boss. Really do appreciate it.
Well, everybody, thanks again for another episode on the Everyday Leader. Just remember, today's the day.
Thanks for joining us on the Everyday Leader podcast. If you're ready to take your leadership journey even further, subscribe to our weekly newsletter for more insights and practical tips. And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram to stay a part of our growing community. Just follow the links in the show notes. If this episode impacted you, please help us spread the word and share the link with a friend from wherever you're listening.